Hey, folks, thanks for joining me. Um, these are a set of stories that are a great example of incrementalism. You know, one of the reasons the big three foundations poured so much money into education in the early 1900s, which began really the era of the social sciences, psychiatry, psychology, sociology, etc. Um, that was really their way of just being able to study us. You know, you have to understand that to them, we are human resources, units of measure. And they've been studying us for a long time. And what they have found out is that, particularly in America, you cannot just make broad sweeping changes. We don't like that. However, we can be, we're the proverbial frog in a boiling pot. That's what incrementalism is. It's done in stages. So, while on the surface, these aren't really a big deal individually, but collectively, they are a big deal because now it's beginning. Also, I've noticed today there's actually a lot of news in the area of gun legislation, but I'll let that compile a little bit and then do a piece specifically on that. But here, let's just start with this. Here is a social services worker fired, escorted out by cops for having a gun permit, not a gun. So, Storm Durham, love the name, claims that she was a damn good social worker. She was fired for just the permit. I want you to appreciate that or understand that. So here's from her mouth. I was fired today due to having a concealed carry permit, Durham said. Was my gun on me? No. Has it ever been on me during my job or visits or anything related to work? No. When I told them that it has never been on me during work, what did they say? How do we know that? So here's this diminutive 22-year-old blonde, 5'2", $140, loves everything Disney, pink, and basic. She was given a written list of reasons why she was fired, which included her concealed handgun license, a performance requirement she said she corrected, and a complaint that she wore loafers during training. So she was escorted out by 3 Roanoke City police officers who actually have been with her on visits where she placed a child with relative due to risks or when she was hugged by a child because they finally felt safe again. So here's this really competent, caring social worker who's doing good work in Roanoke, Virginia, and she gets fired. Not reprimanded, not suspended, fired for having a gun permit. She said they told her, now she was escorted out because she was, quote, a serious safety concern to the building. All right, on the surface, it might not seem like a big deal. Let's jump to Seattle. This from a week ago. A man in Seattle had his gun confiscated by police after breaking no laws. The new red flag law, which has taken hold in other states already, unbeknownst to me, I was not aware of that, allows the courts and law enforcement to take away guns from individuals they deem are dangerous. So, no due process. This man had his firearm, a 25. Now, here's the thing. He was, I guess the way it reads, the police were called because he was staring at people, maybe in an apartment complex. The guy who called, his name is Tony Montana, of all people, to call about a .25 caliber automatic There's no such thing. What a cockroach. Had to go with the Tony Montana anyway. So this man's weapon was taken because he was staring at people. He had broken no laws. He was not arrested, and there were no charges, but they took his firearm from him. In and of itself, you might say, well, wait a second. Let's shift to Illinois, where there is, and it's already passed the House in Illinois by 64 to 51. That's somewhat significant. It has to pass the Senate, so it's not a law yet. So those in Illinois, pay attention, particularly, and this is what I'm starting to see in the news, this age-specific, so state Congress passes a bill to confiscate legal guns, okay, from all 18 to 20-year-olds. So just as a quick aside, at 18, you can sign up for the military, be taught and trained how to kill, go defend America in the name of freedom and democracy, but yet at home you don't have that same right? That's stripped away from you? I find that to be ridiculous. So again, now again, these are legal firearms. They would have 90 days if this passes. Again, if this passes, it's not law yet. 90 days to turn in their guns to the government or become criminals. So let's just scroll down, because here's really the point of all of this. And this is what you have to watch out for in all arenas. All arenas. This is how they operate, particularly in America. Make no mistake, even if this bill does not affect you directly, it's just the beginning. You know, I get trapped in that mindset sometimes. You know, and I'm sure people in Texas do too. People in Texas, I'm in Upper East Tennessee. It's pretty gun-friendly, pretty conservative. You know, you think, well, that's not going to affect me. Well, you can't continue to think like that. There's the famous saying, first they came for them, and then they came for... So government works in increments to erode everyone's rights, but slowly enough. So remember this warning for the future, as more and more people are stripped of their right to defend themselves. First they came for the under 20-year-olds. So also you can look at mandatory vaccines. First it was in California, then it was in Michigan, then Pennsylvania. So they are always setting little incremental precedents, and the next thing you know, you no longer have what you thought you grew up with. And so anyway, that's that. That's a great example of incrementalism, and this is how they're going to continue to just stranglehold, put the boot down. So those in Illinois, pay attention. All right, more to come. See you.